So I'm on the live. Oh my goodness. Freddie and I had all these, what do you call it? We had all these plans. There's a particular term I'm looking for, but I can't figure it out. I forgot what it was. We had all these plans. We're going to go running tonight. We're going to do a midnight run.
Right.
And what else were we going to do? And then we're going to talk about all the things on Facebook Live.
Right.
But then we got lazy. Freddie ordered Chinese food. Just killed an order of crab ragoons and teriyaki. Now look, he asked me if I was hungry, okay? And I said, no, I'm not even hungry a little bit. But when he got the food to the house, I feel like he should have offered it again. And he didn't offer it, not even a little bit. I mean, he licked and sopped up every last piece of everything that was in them little Chinese cups. It never offered me anything.
First come, first serve.
But it's all good. You know, it's all good. I'll take it as a win. So I'm not feeling all nasty and disgusting the rest of the night and into the morning. But anyways, how y'all doing out there? Freddie and I have been doing a lot of talking about the most recent issues, in terms of, what's going out, on in our country concerning racism and inequality and, particularly police brutality and the unjust killings of Black people. And so we kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit. I know we're still kind of still trying to figure exactly, how you feel and stuff like that. But no, I take that back. We know exactly how we feel, but sometimes it's hard to put, things into words, and really, articulate how you're feeling, as a Black person, in America. So you can say, we're feeling angry, we're upset, we're sad, and we're ready for it to be over. We want, equality, we want justice, right? But that all still does not really express, how, we're feeling. Just to be living and existing, in this skin in the United States of America, just that alone. And then, we have all these things, going on, around us. And, it really sucks when you have people just don't get it. Because I don't understand what's not to get. You know what I'm saying? So if we talk about, his name is Jacob Blake, right? I want to make sure I say his name right. Jacob Blake. Yeah, right. So when we talk about a situation, concerning, he's not, thank the Lord that he's not dead. I mean, when we really think about it, should he be dead? Probably. 7 shots to the back? Yeah. But he's paralyzed. So, thank the Lord that, he, wasn't killed. But I feel like it's not hard to understand why that shooting was unjust, right? And people still don't get it. It's I don't care what his priors were. I don't even care what he was going into the car to get. When you watch the video and you look at the cops who are in pursuit of him, how much time did they have, right, to stop him? Why were they even waiting for him to reach the vehicle? Were they anticipating just waiting for him to go ahead, try it so that we can shoot you? I feel like that's what it was. I feel like what happened and how it was handled was very unfair. And I don't care if you have a record. I don't care what. I feel like everyone does have, right? We're supposed to in the United States of America, right? We're supposed to, we have the right to due process, right? We have a right, to be tried for crimes, whatever. Being killed is not supposed to be the, unless you're in a state that has like capital punishment or something like that. But we shouldn't have to be killed out in the middle, of the street because of some, if somebody thought that something was a threat, or you know what I mean. Like it just, I don't know. It's again, it's hard for me to like to put things into words, and I don't understand how some people don't get it. I don't understand it. So I don't know, babe. Did you wanna chime in here?
Just for a little bit, because I don't really want to get agitated.
Yeah. So let me hold the camera because I feel like you are already going there. Come closer. Come closer.
I could hold it.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't want to get riled up or angry because it's been on my mind the past couple of days. And last night I got up at 4:30, and wide awake, just reading the articles in regards to the young man who chose to march into this protest rally with the AR-15. And I find myself like, man, if this was the situation was in reverse and white people were protesting for injustice reasons, right? And I was a black, and I was obviously a subgroup with power, and I walked around with an AR-15 and knocked off civilians. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not making it past this block. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, you're not.
You know what I mean? Like, without racially profiling, like that's an actual fact.
You wouldn't have made it.
I've heard people online that was like, oh, it's a carry gun state. All facts. But if I was to hold that same exact weapon, I'm not making it past the block.
No.
And then then they showed the image like, oh, the young man who passed away, he was reaching for his knife. Fine. Let's say for the sake of argument, he actually was reaching for his knife. But you had ample amount of time to prevent that from happening.
Yeah.
Those 3-4 officers had their guns drawn surrounding this man.
Yeah.
With no intention of de-escalating.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is my problem.
Yeah.
And I have countless friends who are law enforcement officers or who are family members who are into law enforcement. I have relatives myself who are in law enforcement. I completely understand that it is a difficult profession. Yeah. It's a very dangerous profession. Absolutely. I completely understand that. Absolutely. But that doesn't take away the simple fact of right from wrong. We as Americans, as we all like to say, we as Americans, we take great pride in how we live in a democracy society. Mm-hmm. And when we look at these foreign nations and how inhumane the way they navigate through life, we sit there and pass judgment. But yet we still act the same way when it comes to other subgroups within this nation. That is my problem. You know what I mean? And so it's frustrating. So I'm going to go back to that young man who went on his way. They said his mother dropped him off with the gun and all this and that. Whatever. I don't really care. At the end of the day, that young man who's 17 years chose to go there with a purpose.
Yes, he did.
And
he sure did.
He executed those civilians. Mm-hmm. And that's what's frustrating about this. He executed those civilians because he feels threatened because of his white privilege, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, who freaking cares? And I remember, and this is what upset me this morning, because I'm reminiscing about this whole ordeal. And I remember several years ago with the young man from Cincinnati, Tamir Rice. If I mispronounce the young man's name, I'm sorry, but the young man who was like 11 or 12 years old at the time, who had a toy gun, and that officer took that young man's life, and people made it seem like, oh, well, he had a toy gun. That was his mistake. It was like as if he wasn't the victim. He was the reason that caused that his life was ended shortly. But that same young man was 11 years old. But this young man who had the AR-15, I saw the clip. The man got up, killed 3 people, casually walked up with the gun on his hand, arms wide open, as 3 police vehicles drove past him as if, oh, that's my fellow brother. He's doing us a favor. Man, it's tough, man. It's tough to swallow. I'm not going to lie. It's tough to swallow. It's tough to swallow. And, you know, I'm going to be honest. As a person of color, majority of us are descendants of slave and slave owners. Like, we were multiracial. But the way society will never be accepted as equal. Like, I have white ancestry, just like most of us. But I will never be in society. I will always be viewed upon as a black man. And it's tough, man. Like, you wake up every morning and you recognize yourself as being a person of color. And you have to take, you got to literally educate yourself and take pride of being who you are. Mm-hmm. But it's tough navigating through society when you're not really viewed like that. You know what I'm saying? It sucks that I have white, really close friends of mine who never made me feel inadequate. And now a lot of them are in an awkward situation where, like, dang, I got to speak up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or like, dang, like, you know what I'm saying? They've never made me feel inferior or anything like that. They viewed me as just Fred. They don't view me as just being Black Fred or whatever the case may be. Just view me as me being a man. And it's tough where other folks in society do not have the same intentions. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I must say, man, it's tough to swallow. And sometimes, you know, when we talk about colorism and stuff like that, I remember as a kid, I grew up of a lighter complexion. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think I was about 11 and 12 of age where my color pigment kicked in. And I remember I remember, like, you know, because I was light-skinned or whatever, deemed light-skinned or whatever. And I remember at that time, I was sitting there like, I didn't want to be in the sun because I didn't want to get tan because I felt funny, because I didn't want to be darker, because I was having insecurity about my complexion. That's just me. There are other folks that are like that. I don't know. But I do know that for a fact when we talk about colorism. You know what I mean? And so I remember I was in the car with my mother, and I was wearing long sleeve on purpose. It was a hot day. I'm in the car with my mom, and my mother was like, why? Like, you know what I mean? And my mother checked me for me being not somewhat of a colorist. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had an issue being dark skinned or whatever case may be. But you know what I mean? So it was weird because I had to navigate like that. I had to accept that I was going to be a darker person. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. It's a cruel world, man. It's a cruel world, you know? And I've been in places where some of my colleagues will make reference like, oh, yeah, she's beautiful. She got that light skin, you know, that exotic look. Like, that's what's beautiful. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter, you know what I'm saying? But society has a way of reinforcing what deems beauty. You know what I mean? The reason I'm going back to colorism is because at the end of the day, race is a factor. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we lived in a utopia society where everybody mellow is equal, I feel like low-key they'll find some other way for us to combat and discriminate ourselves. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, this situation that transpired the last few days, man, tough to swallow. Tough to swallow. Heart goes out to the young man, his children that were in the vehicle, who obviously they're gonna be traumatized. They're gonna need some sort of emotional support team, you know. Yeah. He himself is going to need an emotional support team. Yeah. You went your whole 29 years of life walking, able to drive a car, play hoops, or lift up your child, and now you're going to be in a wheelchair for the remainder of your life. I read an article that Brian Urlacher, the Hall of Fame football player, made a comment regarding about this. Like, you know, it's like he had a prior record or something. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because that same...
His record does not matter.
It doesn't matter. But anyway, I again, folks, I'm not saying we're in a troubled time, and it's tough to, think positive. I know the NBA. That's what I really want to talk about. Truth be told.
We can talk about the NBA.
Yeah, so I thought the NBA stance yesterday, as far as boycotting, was a powerful move. But I get it. There's no plan and action. But at the end of the day, force the hand. But then I hear players.
So here's my thing. What plan? What action? Why?
I don't know.
Why do people keep looking for a plan? Because the only when I hear plan, I think of, okay, what's their plan to come back? What's their plan to come back and start the games up again? I feel like that's what the worry is about.
Right.
But really, we ain't worried about playing them games. I don't think they should be worried about playing them games.
Agree. There we go.
They should be sticking to the protest and the reason why they're protesting. There's this matter of racial inequity in our country is far greater than a basketball game. And that's not to belittle basketball players in the profession, but that's just to say, it's really not that important when it comes down to it. The NBA is full of black men whose lives are literally in danger. Their family members' lives are in danger. People in their communities' lives are in danger. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So who cares about when they're going to come back and keep playing the games? Who cares? We don't care about that. We want change to happen. We want police officers that need to be arrested to be arrested. We want for there to be change in the way in policing, period. You know what I'm saying? And that's just to scratch the surface.
Yeah. I think, and that's why I when I saw that the players were willing to resume playoffs in less than 24 hours, immediately the players, not all of them, but a handful of them, wanted to resume the playoffs. Man, you sound tone deaf, brother. Yeah. Straight up, you sound tone deaf.
Now, I will say this. We don't know what's going on in the back room.
That is true. That is true.
There could be other things happening and other conversations happening and stuff where they're okay, well, maybe we better get back to it. But, when you are standing up against a system, right, that's operated the way it has for as long as it has, you're going to suffer some loss if you want to stand up for change and you want to see that change happen. Oh, yeah, there's going to be some loss. Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
But kudos to him for never changing, right, and continuing on in his stance. Right. Kudos to that man right there. Mm-hmm. And look at this. Years later, we're turning around dag, more stuff is happening. More killings are taking place. I
remember and I think that's why I gave the WNBA a shout out, because their stance was very aggressive, and they were unified as a league. The WNBA unified as a league.
Shout out to WNBA right now. I promise you this, WNBA. I will be watching all the games that I can watch, because the example that the WNBA has set throughout, anytime something happens, these women, okay, they stand up, unwavering. And you know what? Shout out to WNBA.
Facts.
Yo, shout out for your strong statement.
Facts.
That's it. That. I gotta support these women. I don't even care. I gotta support these women.
Yeah, I made a statement this morning. I was like, "Dag." So
I love how Sharice said. She said, "Love y'all men, but women lead revolutions."
Yo, that's exactly what I posted earlier today. So, you know what I mean? I know some dudes might have felt some type, but those are facts. Mm-hmm. Those are facts. Yeah, it's tough, man. It's really tough.
Yeah. But anyways, back to the NBA.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll be very interested to see. I am very interested to see how the rest of this season is going to proceed, and how
Well,
are
it forced MLB to address the issue. It forced.
yeah. They just didn't play a game, right? The team in Milwaukee.
Yeah, not just them. I think a couple other they had games today. They kind of pushed back off, and if some NFLs cancel practice and stuff like that. You know what I mean? You know, man, it's tough, man. It's tough. Like it's like this whole situation, this whole dynamic about race, and I keep having flashbacks of reminders of stuff that I've witnessed or encountered. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I remember when I was in college where my college roommate and I and a couple other friends, we went to, what's that mall in New Hampshire?
Rockingham or
Rockingham. Fez Lane. We drove up to Fez Lane Mall while we was in college. And we had went to a couple of sneaker stores. We purchased some stuff, and then we decided to go to the some like Macy's or something. As we walked into Macy's, the employee from Macy's was following me throughout the store. And it was not, and mind you, I had merchandise in my hand. And I remember I said something like, damn,
you said
dude.
You did have merchandise?
I had merchandise. And I said something to him. You know, like, I said something along the lines like, damn, man, like, you know, I have my wallet. I just purchased something. Like, I'm not here to steal, man. Like, you know what I mean? But
you purchased it already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, you know, that's one example. There's been others, like, you know.
I'm sure that, listen, Freddie, I'm gonna tell you what. Listen, you don't have to tell me that you were ever followed in the store. Listen, not only are you a black male, but you are 6'4", 6'5", however much, like, big old dude. You know they watching.
Hey, there's
like,
6'4", 6'. There's 6'4", 6'5". Before this pandemic, there's 6'4", 6'5" white guys walking around, and I've never seen a person who's walking in direction across the street.
Wait.
Now.
Can you say that one more time? I didn't understand what you said.
So throughout, like, I grew up in Hyde Park, which is the lower end of the city. So Hyde Park, compared to Mattapan, Roxbury, whatever, it's pretty diverse. But at the time, it was mostly white Irish. Yeah. And obviously the Haitian migrations and stuff like that.
So what were you saying about crossing the street, though?
So there's been numerous times where I'm walking from the grocery store or something online or whatever, coming from the Y, and somebody who could be walking my direction will purposely cross the street because I'm walking. And then after they walk past me, will cross the street back to the same road but in the opposite direction. And, you know, this pandemic now, people are doing that because of social distance. But I don't feel some type of, because I get it about now, but my whole upbringing, that has happened. While we were in Lowell, that has happened numerous times. You know what I mean?
I believe it. And I'm not saying, you know, all my commentary because, you know, I think it should be happening. But what I'm saying is that that's nothing new. Like, honestly, truly, Freddie, I almost expect it. Yeah. Like, because I've never lived a day in my whole life where I haven't seen white people, not all, but some white people be intimidated or be weary of black men, okay? Because I just happen to have all big ass black men in my family. My brother, my uncles, you, like your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not anything new. This has been going on. So just think, right? You just in your regular life in society, like you're not even encountering like police officers, just random people on the street are already weary of you. They don't know nothing about you, nothing about your background. They don't know if you have a police record or not. Just by seeing you existing and being in their space, you are already a threat, right? And then just put a police uniform on that person who doesn't know anything about you, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, and them having to be in a space where, oh my goodness, he might be a threat. And that dude has a gun or a taser on him. That is the reaction that you get. Because we live in a society that's inherently racist. America is inherently racist. The systems, anything social, like everything just is. And it's going to take a lot to really pull us out of it. It's going to take a lot of radical change, to really pull us out of that. But this is the land that we exist in.
Yeah. There was something else I wanted to say. Oh, so I know one thing about police reform that they keep talking about. We need to appoint more black police chief and police officers or more diversity.
This is very interesting.
Truth be told, I don't care if because my views on law enforcement is you could appoint 1,000 black cops. I could care less. The ingrained way of thinking, it doesn't matter white, black, Hispanic, it doesn't matter.
Culture.
It's the culture, straight up. I remember as a kid, I watched this movie. By the way, Al Pacino is one of my favorite actors of all time. Al Pacino had a movie called Serpico, I think it was.
What's it called?
Serpico? I don't know. Anyway, he was a cop in the film, right? He was like an undercover cop. And he busted, in the film, this illegal underground cop unit in his department. They were gambling, stealing, doing a bunch of shady stuff, and he ratted them out to Internal Affairs, and they blackballed his character, calling him a rat and all this and that. Yeah. And that same culture exists today.
It's a brotherhood.
Same culture exists today.
Yeah.
And so after that man killed that young man Jacob the other day, a few police officers patted him on the back, was empathizing with him, patting him it's okay. And I'm like, wait a minute, this man's laying down on the body, and his children, his girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? Straight up, you nearly killed the man in front of his whole family.
Mm-hmm. Wait, can I ask a question? And that's not to make light of anything. So I see we have somebody named Paul. He said, were you talking about The Departed?
No,
you're talking about a different one? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yo, Pete, I'm gonna search it, and I'm gonna send you the link later on, man.
I'm curious. I've never heard of.
It was from the 70s.
Heard of
late 70s.
You know all the movies. I don't know nothing about you. A little older than me.
Here we go.
You a little older than me, so you got references I don't get. You got references I don't quite know. But yeah.
Hey,
it's a whole culture. So back to what you're saying. In a way, I do agree. You can put people who look different, on the force, but if the culture remains the same, right?
I just watched a commercial of Herschel Walker, Tapped, and I just watched a clip with his son, Tapped. Like you saying, it's all good. You can appoint all the black people you want, Tapped. Right?
It doesn't. I mean, just because someone is, we're learning very much learning that just because someone is black, it does not mean that they understand the racial issues, the racial issues at hand.
Facts.
They don't get it, especially if they're living in a world, if they got money and they're living in a different, they may not understand. But I also think that there are some black people who don't want to feel uncomfortable or make other people feel uncomfortable. Hey, look, this is not the time to be worried about people being comfortable or uncomfortable or whatever. This is not the time. This is the time to have those tough conversations.
Yeah.
We have to. And we have to be okay that not everybody's going to hear what we have to say. We're going to have to be okay with it. But what we can't be okay with accepting the status quo. We cannot be okay with that. We have to stand up and say something. So I just think this is going to be interesting, especially, for you and I. Well, election, yeah.
Hey,
there's so many things going on this year. Losing my mind.
I know in the RNC conventions this week, but I mean, I haven't heard anything from Kamala. I haven't heard anything from Biden. I read these little small snippets.
Let's read. Do you mind if we read Asia's comment? It says, I also want to just say how social media is that double-edged sword. Absolutely. Yes, it's done some good, but in my opinion, it's giving voices to everyone, including those that, yes, Azer, when they say Obama causes the division, my response is, no, we We're never united. Yeah, hallelujah. You're right. We were never united in the first place. And now we have recordings to show. Yes, absolutely. It says, shoot, Wyclef was singing about, what is that? Diallo. Was an African
New York,
immigrant that was shot in New York.
41 times. I was thinking like 96.
41 times. Well, I didn't even know about
like 96, 98. Yeah, I remember that.
What else he said? What Paul would say? So I think we are at the point where we had enough. Yes, we had enough conversations. Now it's time for action. So we got to see stuff. Who's RJ? Okay, it's
my man from high school.
Don't change. Angry will turn to retire. Well, that's the truth. Don't let us get up. It's the truth. It's going. I feel like because there's so much that has to change, there's so much that has to be done. You better believe it's most likely going to get worse. Like when radical change has to take place, there's always some type of upheaval. That stuff is going to continue to come up, and true colors are going to continue to be revealed. Like, and I was just about to say, we're about to go back into the school year, so people have probably been working all along and stuff, and. Yeah. But, we're about to go back possibly into our buildings, and we're going to be face-to-face now with our coworkers, where before when all this stuff started happening, like in February, March, April,
Zoom meetings.
We were in meetings and doing our, our professional development in Zoom meetings or Google Meet or what have you. But we were like face-to-face with our coworkers, our white coworkers and stuff. So now when we go back for professional development and we're in these spaces, I'd be really interested to see, how these conversations will go and how deep we're going to take them. So now listen, I'm ready and willing. We need to have these conversations.
So the building...
Hey, Peach, he says, yep, it's been happening forever. Yep.
So the school that I was just working at this past year, they seem very progressive and open-minded and great staff, you know what I mean? But it was hard to have those type of conversations because, truth be told, sometimes I feel like white America really don't want you to really voice your opinion.
They don't because they don't want to feel uncomfortable. They don't want any... I hate saying they because that means like everybody. I'm not going to say everybody, but I'm going to say a lot, right? Yeah. They don't want to be made to feel uncomfortable, and they don't want to be, seen, they don't want what they have to be messed with. If you got a good setup, right? You don't want nobody to touch it. I feel you. What does Cherise says? And students, they don't know how to navigate these times properly, and teachers don't have the skill. Lord have mercy. Let me tell you something. They don't have the skills. They don't know.
Yeah,
if you are not educated, if you don't even know yourself, how in the world are you going to teach these kids?
Facts. So depending on the building unit, most of the time, people of color, like staff-wise, they gotta suppress their opinion. They gotta suppress it.
No more.
You know what I'm saying?
We can't anymore. We can't anymore. We cannot. We can't.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It really is tough.
And I think it's a thing where, and I'm not saying to cause any trouble. I'm not saying anybody go and and protest on their job. But here's the thing. And if somebody tries to shut you up or shut you down, listen, you need to go to the higher ups. You need to be writing letters. You need to get your crew in your workplace and push for change. This is not the time to just be taking stuff. We can't just take it anymore. And I'm one of them too. Okay, let me just leave that alone. You know what? Let me put it to the side. I got to work with these people. No more. It can't be. Let's see what Cherie says. She says, I'm fighting with the school system now. See?
Yeah.
There you go. There's about to be a lot going down. Love y'all, but I have to sign off. Good talk. Good night, Cherise. Thank you for joining us. Thank you. So there's so many things. There's so many aspects to this mess, man. Yeah. There's just so much, and it's heavy.
Yeah, it really is.
It's heavy. It's like I woke up this morning heavy. I don't even have any other way to
because of what transpired, I can't help but have these moments.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna speak my truth. Last week when I believe you were at your mother's house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you were sleeping at your mom's house or something.
Wait, hold on. Let's see what he says. So hold on. RJ Jack said, I'm a manager at my job. They don't even come to me with this type of convo, but I do hear them talk amongst themselves though, so they don't want that smoke. They don't want that smoke. Look, hey Peach. So we've hit a few different topics, but the main thing was just, well, right now we're talking about how we're going to deal with racism, moving forward, in our workspaces in general. We had kind of started that conversation around, what happened with Jacob. Is Blake, right? I think I'm saying his name wrong. And we talked about police brutality a little bit, but right, we kind of like got into, how we're going to, be going back into the school year and dealing with people and
so really
doing our part to push the change.
Real quick, so the other, like last week, when you was at your mother's house, and obviously PJ, I've been going for these runs, and I've been going on
I know what you're going to talk about. Yeah, go ahead.
I go in the morning, sometimes I go in the afternoon. I've been trying to maintain my 2 a day. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, that night, I ran that morning, had the basketball thing. That's what it was. You was home, actually. Mm-hmm. I had the basketball tournament, and I still felt good, so I went for a run again. Yeah. And it was around 9 o'clock. And I do the same route all the time. I'm not stupid. I ran into 4 Dedham police cruisers in less than 20 minutes. Obviously, like when I say 4, it was like 2, but it was 2, but separate 2s. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not the same 2 police cruisers.
But at some point, 4 police cruisers.
4 police cruisers.
Make sure
And then the last one, I made it onto Endicott. I'm running. I'm pacing myself because this is that long run stretch to the house.
Yeah.
The cruisers slowed down, and I don't know. Something must have said something. So I'm running, and I think I was sweating pretty bad from the hoodie on my head. So I took the hoodie down, and I'm still maintaining my pace. Mm-hmm. I had the flashlight in my hand. Yeah. And the cruiser slowed down and drove past me. But you could tell, like.
Yeah, they was checking for you.
They were checking. So someone must have called, whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying?
But it's not like they ain't seen us out there.
Right. It's funny.
They seen us out there.
It's funny. You know what I mean? It's just funny.
Oh, Lord. I tell you what, Daddy. I don't know.
So when I saw that, like, who's to say somebody ran up on me? What if I had some, what's the little earbuds? The ones that are cordless? The young boys
we clearly don't have any of those.
I know,
we don't know what they're called.
Earplugs or whatever.
Daddy, we don't know what they're called.
Yeah,
just
anyway.
We don't know.
What if I had something like that, and when the cops approach me, I'm reaching to take it out? You know what I'm saying?
Don't you reach for Jack. You better hold your... Still. Anyway. Unfortunately, you better hold still.
AirPods.
Don't you move.
My man Pete
AirPods. Sorry, there we go.
Yeah.
We ain't got none.
See, I'm not hip. You know what I mean?
But my goodness, let's lighten it real quick.
Yeah.
I don't even know. But yeah, so that's that. Oh my gosh. I tell you what, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. But that's it.
Yeah, folks, man, I love you guys. I don't want to damper the rest of the evening for you guys.
I know, right?
No, seriously, it's tough, man. It's tough. We're having a serious conversation. It's tough, yeah. So I love you guys, man.
Yeah, it's good. It was a good topic. So we'll hit them with something light next time.
I know tomorrow.
I don't know. It says, "Yo, get the bone conduction headphones so you can